So this week, everything's just taking me longer, and I've learned something. When I make videos, I'm usually speaking kind of off the cuff like this, and I'm terrible at it. And I spent like an hour and a half writing a blog post to accompany the video that goes out on Thursdays. Sometimes I do that. Blogs are just so much more concise, organized than the videos. My word finding is terrible and I tend to ramble more. So what I've learned from this is that maybe I should be doing the blog first and working backwards, which might be kind of tricky because of the way that the week turns out. I'm either going to have to get way ahead. I don't know. I'm just going to have to reshuffle, I guess. Do less Patreon stuff on Sunday, more writing maybe. I don't know. But this week I'm just like a bundle of nerves. Like every day I feel like a crab and I just want to hide under a rock. I keep thinking it would just be so much easier if I just got a retail job or something. I could have an excuse to be less resourceful, an excuse to not do things that I don't like to do. I've been sending emails to book publishers this week, even though I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But like I have a choice. Like I can either succumb to these instincts, hide under a rock, and just accept my place in society, or I could just send an email and let them laugh at me. So that's what I've been kind of doing. I'm trying to do it once a day, or at least once a day finding a new resource, whether that's applying for a project, trying a new marketplace or something, to people on Twitter who are looking for work, because there's a lot of people on Twitter looking for artists to do stuff. Like if I knew how to make a Twitch emote, hot tip for you guys, Twitch emotes, that's all anybody wants right now. Digital stuff in general. Organizing my stuff, I found a bunch of tins. Well, I emptied a bunch of tins, and they might make nice watercolor palettes. This one's tight. These two are kind of loose. Like this one's super loose. I don't know if that would actually function well as a palette, but... And I have no idea what to do with these sticky polymer clay experiments. Such a waste. They look so cool, but they're sticky. Because I used the wrong sealant on them. Hey, you like dirty water? So I showed you the results of the first attempt using arches, which I kind of regret because it took a lot of time. So I tried it again with the Bowong paper and it looks so much better. I mean, I do like the way that the flowers kind of came out on this one, just the way that the color, I just like the hard edges because this one has way softer edges. The thing about the really rough press is that it takes the color a lot more readily. I also tried to do it in a way that I did the circles while the paper was still wet, because this paper stays wet way longer than this one, so I could get kind of a hazy look for the shadows instead of this awkward kind of looking hard edge, which I don't really mind either. A lot of these things that I'm pointing out are, negative things in watercolor, like the like all the hard edges and the weird inconsistent things, but I take those as a plus in watercolor, which is why I feel like watercolor shouldn't be as intimidating as some people think it is, because even if you do it wrong, it kind of actually looks better. Because I was trying to develop this as like a paint by number, which means hard edges you fill in with color. Alright, so if I did get to that point, it looks kind of whatever, but I can add on extra steps in the video or instructions to be like, this is what I would do if this was my painting, which was to add these little circles, textures. Like that seems pretty easy for anyone to do, just to add little marks wherever in the tree. Same with this. I have a little bit of circles marked out for that. Here, I'll show you this. I do have some little circles marked out for places to put color, but I find them on their own doesn't really quite convey texture of grass in flowers. So there's just the addition. Again, it's very simple, just put. I'm going to make a video about that, and I don't know if I'm going to make it public or if that's just going to be part of releasing these in some way, if that's just another thing to include in the package. So I think I'm just trying to talk myself through how I can make this relate to people on a broad scale, not just myself or people who already know how to use watercolor. Because for someone who knows how to use watercolor, this is pretty much just a coloring sheet with paint included and probably a paintbrush. So this tiny one you saw, these ones, I spent so much time yesterday. I just wanted to get through these, and I thought that I couldn't possibly draw 5 of them. Maybe this is not a sustainable practice. If these somehow took off, like if these were something somebody wanted to actually do, I feel like I'd be setting myself up for a lot of repetitive tracing. Because I do want to be ready to go. Like I've seen some kits where it comes with carbon paper and you do it yourself. And why do I have tiny ones? I have tiny ones because I'm testing this out on my patrons and they may not even want to, and that's okay. If you wanted to get one of these in the mail, sign up for the $10 tier on Patreon. That's a tier that gets original sketches mailed every month. And I'm going to just include this kind of card. I haven't decided how the real deal is going to be, but this is fine. I just have some, this is stone paper, so you should be able to make some kind of puddle in this. These are tiny, so this is going to be way too much paint. And it's only mid-month, so if other people wanted to try this, I will have plenty of time to make more. But, oh man, I did not expect to do 5 of these in one night, because it doesn't take a long time, but it is just, it's a very busy thing to do repetitively over and over again, you know. I also want to make one for King Jazzy, the cat one, but I think most people who do paint by numbers, like if I ordered a paint by numbers, I would probably want to do something like this. It's one of the things that I've been wanting to do. I wanted to try paint by numbers, but I've never found one that I actually like, so. But I just can't believe, like, look at the difference in just, like, this beautiful texture, this warm yellow, the texture of these trees compared to the Arches cold press. It literally looks colder, and it's so boring. Although I definitely like the flower texture better. I guess we know what the strengths are in this paper. Maybe more abstract work would be good. We're fighting over it.
Puddle's not big enough for the two of them.
He wants to stir him. Right now.
Pretty small.
Whoa, they're fighting. Alright, you get 3 seconds and then you'll get gold. She's spooked. There's no grass there, baby. It's dead. Whoa.